welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting transfer news. We start with Dest, as Barca coaches are not convinced by the 22-year-old defender due to tactical shortcomings. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about third choice goalkeeper Arnau Tenas, as Barca are set to offer a new contract to the academy product. Player has other proposals. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Dest is back at FC Barcelona after enduring a torrid loan spell at AC Milan. The 22-year-old has been at Barca since 2020, when the club spent around 20 million euros to sign him from Ajax. Although Dest played regularly in his debut season under Ronald Koeman, he never really looked convincing enough, and the situation only worsened once Xavi Hernandez took over in 2021, with the right back losing all prominence before eventually leaving on loan last year. Now though, with AC Milan not activating the permanent purchase option on his contract, the 22-year-old is back at Barcelona, and considering the need for a new right back and the lack of financial muscle, it has been suggested that Dest could earn a chance to stay at the club. Indeed, Xavi will reportedly take a close look at Dest during the pre-season training and make a decision on his continuity if the club are unable to sign a new right back. However, according to a fresh update from Javi Miguel, Barca remained fixated on selling Dest this summer. For starters, it is claimed that the club coaches are not all convinced by the 22-year-old, as they believe that, he has tactical shortcomings to fit into Xavi's setup. Beyond that, there is also the issue of his salary. The defender is set to earn in excess of 10 million euro per year, which is Barcelona's current economic climate is just not feasible at a time when they are looking to trim their wage bill. As such, the main aim remains to offload Dest this summer, although it has not been easy finding suitors for him so far. But as mentioned earlier, there may be a scenario where he ends up staying at the club if there are no convincing offers and the Catalans are unable to sign a new right back. Dest has been a player that, have never convinced Xavi, has never convinced many Barca faithfuls. And honestly, the fact that he went on loan to AC Milan and couldn't still be a starter, or couldn't even, in fact, Dest played very few games last season, for those who never knew that. And honestly, I think the fact that Dest, came to Barca when Koeman was in charge and still haven't been able to convince this Xavi Hernandez is still something that it's really alarming. And I definitely think that Barca should go for a new right back because he has never been convincing. Dest is not a type of player that should play for a team like Barca. I don't think Barca is the level Dest should play. He doesn't deserve to play for a team like Barca. And honestly, the fact that we are looking for a right back or are desperate to get a right back, for me, it doesn't mean that we should just, count on Dest. Yes, it's true that he might stand a chance to be a backup right back if things don't go well, if Barca don't find suitors. But it has been really bad, the fact that Dest have been unable to carve out a place for himself. When he left to AC Milan last season, many thought he might stand a chance to convince Xavi, but even there, Stefano Pioli, the manager of AC Milan, was not happy at all with the players' performances. And there have been a lot of reports talking about his lack of tactical knowledge. This is not the first time. Even before leaving on loan, when Xavi came in as manager 2021, Xavi had always been complaining that he still needs a lot to learn. He needs a lot to learn. His positional displays are very poor. And to the extent where Xavi and his coaching staff had to take him to a special training for tactical knowledge and positioning. But it seems as though that hasn't changed, as this report is still claiming that they still lack a lot of tactical know-how and Xavi doesn't see him as suitable to his plans. But nonetheless, the player will still be assessed. That is why it is very important to have pre-seasons, because there are certain players that need to be evaluated so well during these pre-seasons, because their futures can change. Some players take this pre-season seriously and they can make a change in their future and they can stay in the team. But for this, honestly guys, I very much doubt if he will convince Xavi. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, according to Sport, Barca will make a new contract offer to this academy graduate Arnau Tenas imminently. But the goalkeeper's continuity at the club is very complicated, as he also has proposals from other clubs. The 22-year-old is a product of the La Masia youth setup and has been regarded as one of the best young goalkeepers in Spain, which he showed during the recently concluded UEFA Under-21 European Championships. Tenassee's contract with Barca expired on June 30 after the club opted against triggering a 2-year extension option, as the salary increase for the youngster was deemed unfeasible within the club's current economic parameters. But manager Xavi Hernandez wants the young shortstopper to continue at the club, and Barca are set to make a fresh contract offer for him, one with a lower salary that fits into the club's current financial reality. However, that will not guarantee his continuity at the club, which is seen as complicated at this point. Tenas agent Ivan de la Pena has received interesting proposals from several clubs, especially following his great performances at the Under-21 Euros. As a result, there is no certainty that the Spanish youngster will accept the offer from Barca, and efforts will need to be made from both parties if a common ground is to be reached when they meet to discuss his future in the coming days. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.